Today we'll be looking at a single raise pot, Doug Polk in position, Bill Perkins out of position. Doug elects to check this flop here with 7-3 in the back doors. In this case it would be the 7-3 of hearts. You can see the solver prefers betting, although the EV of all the options are relatively the same. Bill makes a quick check on this king on the turn. You can see his hand does lead sometimes, but the more interesting part is look at the amount of combos that do lead this turn. Looking at it by hand strength, you can see here the sets and the two pairs, okay, they like to lead quite a bit. But more interestingly, the top pair, you can see here if you turn a king, solver likes to lead out more than half the time. You can see here even middle pair jacks, solver's betting at least 50% of the time here, and these two hands are going to make up about 20% of your range here. Even weak pairs have quite a big betting range. You can see here 7-7, 6-6, 7-6, 8-6, 6-5. Like to bet, well, those may be a little bit more than 50% of the time, but even the entire range of weak pairs, quite a few bets. And then you can come down here to see the draws, flush draw on the flop. You can see combo draws, open-ended straight draws, gut shots even. Have some pretty dark red, so they prefer those the bigger bet sizes. Doug bets 70% pot here, and quick call by Bill. You can see the solver likes, actually prefers a little bit the overbet size, same EV, however, 30% of the time would be taking the overbet size of 140% here, but like 70% and 30% as well, about the same EV. And against the 70% size, the 8-5 is always calling.
Check.
The pressure. I will just fold my fucking bullshit ass pair.
On the river here, Doug bets again about 66-70%, and that's exactly what 7-3 of hearts likes to do. And against the bet size, 8-5 is put into a difficult spot. It's mixed calling and folding. It looks like Bill's here is always folding. His particular combination in this case would be the 8 of hearts, 5 of spades, and that does make one of the higher EV calls here at this frequency. For the member extra today, let's go back and look at this turn decision for the out of position player Bill here. This was the leading range that seemed like he was just automatically checking, and I think most players would automatically check this king on the turn. But look at the amount, look at the volume of bets spread across the entire range of this out of position spots. Let's go ahead and lock this as a passive situation, however. So let's say the player is checking 100% here, which I think maybe many players would prefer to do. If the out of position player is checking 100%, then the way the solver works, the solver knows that, so the solver's response would also be to check a high percentage. We're going to change this also and give the in position player more of a bully profile where he'd be betting more in this spot, which I think most players will. So now we have the out of position player checking 100%. And we have the in-position player with a bully profile that's betting most often on this card. We'll take a look at the 70% size because I think that would be the most common bet size. And this would now be the reaction from the out-of-position player using these two exploits. So you can see the solutions side by side here. On the left side is the original GTO solution, and on the right side is our new exploit solution versus the 70% bet size. Right away you can see the exploit will be calling 9% more, and more interesting will be raising 15% more, and specifically raising a lot more of these kings, because remember in the GTO solution a lot of these kings were leading out, so they would not be in this line, but now we have all of these kings and they like to raise quite a bit more. Specifically hands like King 8, King 7 with the club, King 5. You can see they were never raising over here in the GTO solution, but now they're raising almost all the time with the King of clubs. King 7, King 8, King of clubs. Another category that's raising quite a bit more are these flush draws. 10-3 of spades, the front door flush draw is now raising all the time versus folding in the the other example. No, sorry, they were leading out once again. So they were leading out, and now they are choosing to raise. Queen Jack raises a little more. Queen 10 raises a little bit more. A hand like 10-9 raises quite a bit more. We have the frequency quite a bit more. It looks like about equal in this example, but we have it more in this check-in example. You can see under this view the 10-9 in the original solution we don't have very often because we were leading out, but now we have it almost all the time. Queen 9, Queen 8, Queen 7 flush draws, 10-9, 10-8, 10-7 flush draws. Those are all clear raises here. We're also going to be calling quite a bit more. 15% more raises, 9% more calls. You can see in this area, Ace 9 goes from always folding to always calling. Ace 8, same thing. Ace 7. Ace 6 is still always folding. Up top here, Ace 8 suited goes to always calling versus folding some of the non-flush draws. Let's go ahead and finish the hand as played now using the exploit solution, so facing the 70% bet size. 8-5 is always calling. Queen on the river here, we would be checking out of position 100%. The 7-3 of hearts. Once again, mostly bet 70%, also likes the overbet size. And against that bet, the 8-5 still put it into a difficult spot, but we are calling 44% of the time with our particular combo, and it is a slightly winning EV call in this situation. Go back to this turn spot one more time. We check 100%, we face a 70% pot size bet. We're going to be calling 46% of the time. Let's go ahead and call, and then rather than just looking at the Queen of Diamonds on the river, let's look at the entire runout on the river. So this is the river report sorted by expected value here for the out of position player. So at the top here, our best river cards are going to be the King of Clubs, the 4s and the Jacks, and the 5s. When we call, we'll take a look at when we raise here in a moment, but first, when we call, these are the best cards that we want to see. At the bottom end of that is the Queen of Diamonds, and 9 brings some straight draws for the in position player. So those are going to be the cards that we vastly under-realize. Equity, you can see here, is pretty close to 50-50 and not terribly far away, 47, 47, 47, 46, but the equity realization in position is able to realize much higher value of his equity because of the bluffing opportunities. Let's take a look at the situation if we raise. You can see down here we check out of position, we face a 70% pot size bet. We raise 50% pot to 9.5 and then in position calls. This is going to be the river report for that scenario. So now, if you remember, we had a lot of raises under this exploit with the flush draw, so all the flush completing cards are going to be really good for our range. And then after that, 3, 5, 6, 3 deuce. So a lot of the straight draws, the lower straight draws that come in. On the other end now, the Jacks and the 9s, the 5s and the King, they are now bad cards for our, if you remember, when we called on the turn, these were good cards, but now when we raise and we face a call, they turn into good cards for the call-in range. Let's go ahead and play versus the solution now to better understand this spot. We're going to be joining the game here on the turn. We're going to be checking 100% out of position, and then we're going to face various bets and checks from the in-position player here. So Ace 9, Ace of Spades, and 9 of Diamonds. We're going to be calling 100%. Jack of Diamonds on the river here. Let's check. Queen 7 just folding. King 9. He does still have some checks here in the in-position range. You can see his range over here. A lot of Ace 6, 8, 7, 8, Ace 8, and some pocket pairs. Queen on the river, 71% of the time, just betting small. We get called by 2s. Turn checks through and we hit another King of Spades, however, on the river. Going to be mixing between betting small and betting big. I'll use the RNG up here in most situations to find our action. So here we go. Turn our king. This is one of the hands that was going to be leading out quite often, but now it turns into a check raise when we face a bully. So we'll be raising here. Ace on the river. Card we're going to be checking. We beat 8-6. It's a nice hand to raise against, get a little extra value, force him to put more money in the pot when we have a big equity advantage. Ace-8, one of the hands that are put in a pretty tough spot here, calling 65% of the time. Face another bet, and now mostly folding. King 8. Here's an example of one still just calling, not raising all of our kings. Still it'd be a pretty big EV loss to raise this particular one. River, our two pair, still always checking. 8 of spades. Checking to check raise, however. Big EV loss just to call here. So we raise, 10-9 folds. Queen 9 calling with the straight draw. Queen in the river, just check. B5. Set of 4s. Turn checks through. 8 on the river, still mostly checking. Face a bet, and we raise, of course. Get called by a jack. Open-ended straight draw. This is one of those that might have been, or now like to raise against the bully. Dude, get a call. River a pair here. Checking 100%. We face a bet, and it likes to raise. Spicy, spicy, spicy. 81% raise here. And we fold out a king. Fun play there. Turn checks through. We hit a 9. 2 pair on the river. 43% check. Bet small and medium. Go ahead and bet medium with the 97. Get called by a 9. Ace-4, ace of spades likes to call. Checking. Beat the queen 10. For the final quiz now, we're playing Doug Polk heads up. We find ourselves in the river here with 10-4 of clubs. Face a 70% pot bet. What are we doing? Fold, call, or raise? If you said call or raise, you are a poker god. You can see here, call is the preferred option, a little higher EV, 1.51. Raise, 1.33. Big EV loss to fold. Well done.